So termination of the project. So what are the parts that in termination of the project? So this is one of the topic that is in this module number 1. Okay. We know the project life cycle. What is mean by project life cycle? Okay. And what are the contents in that project life cycle? If you look at the project life cycle, then you see there is a starting point which we call a definition phase. So we properly define a project. Okay. After that one, we have a second section from this one. It is a planning, then execution part, and then delivery. Delivery is nothing but what? It is the termination of the project. Now in that one, what we have to do? So we have to hand over the project to the owner. So it may be the organization, industry, or it may have a single owner too. Okay. So what we do, we complete the project, and as per the requirement, as per the specification given by the owner and the requirement of for that project. So we complete all the task activities, and we completed that one. And now what we do, we are delivering to it. So before delivering, what we have to do, we have to commissioning it. So the commissioning of the plant, that is the one thing. Okay. Second, you need to this give the startup. Startup means what? You have to actually run that the process, and then the stabilization is what? Again, whatever be the yield conversion that they want, or the product what their requirement as per the quality and quantity. Is it okay? So we have to stabilize that part, and the last portion, it is the closeout. Okay. So these are the four contents from this termination of the project that we have. That is the commissioning, startup, stabilization, and closeout. So one by one, we will look about what is in the commissioning. First, we will look what is the definition of the commissioning. Then we will see the in the commissioning what are the parts are there. Who is the team member in the commissioning one? Okay, all these things we will see in details in the next slides. So the first we will see the what is meant by the commissioning. So what is commissioning? It is a quality focused process for enhancing the delivery of a project. So it is a quality focused process, okay, for enhancing the delivery of the project. So you have to properly, as per the specification, as per the requirement of the owner, you have to hand over before you are hand overing to the person. We are giving each and everything that this is as per their requirement and the specification. So you have to make the process of it and check each and every of the things in that process industry. If I take, let's take an example of any chemical industries. So we know that there are a number of unit operations are there in the process industries. Okay, so there are the number of instruments parts are there. So what we do, step by step from the starting to the end, we are inspecting that part. So whether it is work as per the capacity given, and again we are giving the training to the trainer, those who are handling that instrument, those who are handling the what we call the equipments and all. Okay. So we check each and everything in the commissioning part. So we call it is a quality focus. Fine. So this is the process focused upon the verifying and documenting the that facility and all of the systems, and assemblies are planned, designed, installed, tested, operated. Okay. As per the so that it can be meet to the owner's project requirement. Now commissioning, just like when you buy something even in a shop, then what we do, we observe the things, whatever be the things that we are purchase, and what we do, we are observing that one, each and everything about it. Okay, the same thing in the commissioning one, commissioning of the plant. So let's see here that there are the three main goals of the commissioning of the process industries or the processes. What are that? That are facilitate the final acceptance of the project at the earliest possible date. What is that? Facilitate the final acceptance of the project at a earliest possible date. This is the one of the things that when your project is over, then we have to, as early as we have to start a commissioning process, so that we can hand over that project to the owner. Second is to facilitate the transfer of the project to the owner maintenance staff. Now, if it is a process industry, then it is not a single person to we are involving in the commissioning one. Okay. So what there is a maintenance staff, some of the instrument equipments they need a maintenance after say 1 year, after 6 months. So we are handling that thing or transferring the things to the maintenance staff. Third goal is to ensure that the comfort system meet the requirement of the occupants. So this is very important. Why we are doing commissioning? Because does as per the requirement of the owner, is it a complete or not? And for that one, the commissioning is very important. So these are the certain objective, or we call it the goal of the commissioning process. So first, the final acceptance of the project. Second, transfer the project to the maintenance staff of the owners. And the third part is to comfort system meet as per the requirement of the occupants. Now, again, what are the some objectives related to that? What are the things that we have to do in the commissioning one? So it is the documents that equipment is installed and started per manufacturer's recommendation. So the first, the documentation of any equipment, the installation process of that one, and the starting of that equipment as per the manufacturer's recommendation. Okay. Second point is what? Document that equipment and system receive the complete operational checkout by installing contractors. Second document that is in the commissioning one that we have cross check. Okay. So the documents which is provided by the vendor contractors, the person who is installing that system or the equipments, and the checkout whether as per the specification of that instrument or the equipment is it a work or not. And for that one we have we are doing a commissioning part of it. Okay. The third one is the system performance with the thorough functional performance testing and monitoring. As I said in the previous line, it is what, look at the performance of the equipment. What is the how much the how the performance is given. Okay. And obviously for that one we have the checklist. So we know the what is the specification of the equipment, we know the what is the specification of the instrument, and then we check it minimum, maximum, and the random values of it. Just like if we say it is a pump, so how much, what is the capacity of the pump, how much it is deliver the fluid from that pump. So we always check each and every point of it. Thus how much energy is consumed by that pump. Each and whatever the specification it is mentioned, as per that one we are taking, or we are taking a test of it, and we monitoring that part. Then it is to verify the completeness of the operations and the maintenance of the material. So that is one of the objectives in the commissioning one. And the last one, it is that ensure that the owners operating personnel are adequately trained on the operation and maintenance of the building equipment. So this is very important when you are doing the commissioning and when you are giving a training. So training is very important, because initial phase when you are installing the plant or when you are installing the equipments, so that time the trainers are trained persons are installing that equipment, and he started that equipment, he run the instrument equipment. But this equipment now to hand over to the person of the owner who will handle that equipment afterward. And for that one, the necessary training is very important. Okay. So if it is some software based or automation, so what are the checklist is there, how to start. Okay, should I run it in a dry process, or it is very important to just to take it before you have to feed it and then you have to start. Just like when we start a heater, always we have the checkpoint that there should be a sufficient level of the water should be in that vessel. Otherwise, it will not. We will not start that one. So that is a one checkpoint. So when we that person knows that how to start the heater, it is known when you are giving certain training to him, or some instruction given to him, or you have to provide a manual. So in the commissioning one, all these things we have to maintain. So the last point is very important. That is the one of the objective is what, it is to train give a adequately train on the operation and the maintenance of the equipment. Okay. So these are the certain objectives related to the commissioning one. Now the next point, who is the team member in the commissioning one. So here we have the list of the peoples in the commissioning team, and the first is the owner. So the owner is the one of the team member in the commissioning one. Then the most important, it is a project manager. Though this project manager throughout the from the definition phase, means throughout the first day to the say, last end day, he is present in it, and he know each and everything about it, about the process, about the project. So it is very important that the project manager should be a team member in the commissioning part. Then we have the architecture. If it is a building one, that time we have to take out this person or some civil persons that we have to take in the inspection of the buildings and all. A mechanical engineer, chemical engineer, electrical engineers, general contractor. The contractor is very important. This is also the one of the part of the member that is in the commissioning one. The contractor to the mechanical one, electrical one, the contractor of the controllers, and the maintenance manager. This maintenance manager is from the what? General from the functional one. Okay, already this person is there if the plant is expansion. Okay, so the maintenance manager is very important, and their team. It is not only the one person is there, but his team is there in commissioning one. Okay, so these are the list of the people from the department from which the person come for the commissioning and as a team member. Then look the commissioning process. What are the contents from this commissioning process? The first is the commissioning scoping meeting, final commissioning plan, design intent documentation, site observation, pre-functional checklist, and startup procedure. And the last one is the development of the functional test and the verification of the procedure. Okay. Then it having the execution of the functional testing procedure, short-term diagnostic monitoring, operations and maintenance manuals, training and orientation of the owner, personnel and occupants, a warranty period and a commissioning report. So let's see one by one what exactly the meaning of it. So first, this is the process is mentioned. What is first the commissioning scoping meeting? So before you started the commissioning one, there is a meeting with the project manager, the owner, and the all the the persons, and they decide how when to start the commissioning one, because first we have to look out whether the project is complete or not. Okay, and that is the checklist given by the project manager that yes, it is a completed. Now we need to do a commissioning one, and for that one they have to take a meeting and decided the time, date, and all other things. Okay, the final commissioning plan. So here in that meeting, definitely they will discuss about the commissioning plan. So it is not only the one day process to commissioning one. Okay, it is not just like we have to buy certain things from the market and it is only the one object. So it is okay. We can easily commissioning within a 1 hour. But this is a whole plant, a process plant. So it is required the planning. So which department start from which one? Does it is required just like a maintenance department. Now let's look what is the role of maintenance department where they need. Just like if the maintenance department, mechanical maintenance department, the equipment which are related to the mechanical part, they will inspect or they will do the commissioning in that one. The one team is going that part. One electrical type, the team will be go for the electrical checking one. Okay, and the chemical, if you see the chemical person, then he is mostly look out about whether that quality is maintaining after they run this after starting the process one, or before that one he will check out the reactors and there's all the unit operations which is involved in that industry, in that process. Okay, so here is the planning is very important. So they will decide it how much, how long what is the how long the schedule it is, and they just make it and make the planning of it. Then the design intent documentation. So this is very important when you are not directly go to the just like in a garden just to check out what is the process industry look. Okay, here you need a documents also. When you are inspecting or when you are commissioning the reactor, you should know the specification of the reactor. Each and every part which is installed in that reactor, you should know the specification of it. And then you are check you have, so that documentation what they give the checklist of it, what exactly mounted on that reactor, what is the capacity of the reactor, what will be the conversion of the from that reactor. Okay, and all the instrumentation parts and the some the mechanical electrical parts that is involved, you need to do the inspection of it. That's the commissioning. So design intent documentation is very important. Site observation, another process is what, so look at the what is the size of the plant it is, and on that basis you just observing that whole plant, and then you are making the planning of it. Pre-functional checklist and startup procedure. When you are doing a plan, that time what, a pre-functional checklist. What exactly all the things you are not checking in the commissioning part, and nut and bolt you are not checking. But yes, there are the certain checklists that you need to take it. So that is called a pre-functional checklist. Our main parts related to the process industry and the startup procedure of it. How the plant start. It is not easy to start a plant. Okay, just like you just switch on the fan or the light, it is not that easy. Okay, when you want to start a reactor, it is that is it just to start a button? No. So you have to take a start the procedure of it, how to start, what is the first unit operation, which is the first equipment that I need to start, which is the second one, which is the third one. So by step you have to start the plant. Okay, so this is very important. Even when you are shutting down the plant, that time also you have to go in a reverse direction. A simple example that I would like to give, even as you perform the experiment in the heat transfer operation lab, that when we when we take a run on the cross what do you call the heat exchanger, cross flow heat exchanger. Okay, so that time what we do, first we check whether the walls are open or not. Fully wall it should be open. Water, so there should be a sufficient amount of the water to be supplied through that the tube and through the shell. And then we adjust the flow rate, and then we will start the heater. So this is the starting procedure of that equipment. What is the how to end it? Then we end not by closing the wall, because in the starting process we are used, the first thing is to close the wall. That is not a procedure. The procedure may be the reverse one. What is the procedure? First we need to close or the off the heater. Then slowly what we have to do, we have to close the wall, but we have to keep for some time, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so that whatever be the heated the liquid which is present in the shell or the tube, that should be the remove from it. And after that one we slowly we close that. Okay, so we call this is a starting procedure of to start that the cross flow heat exchanger. Same thing is happened with the process industry. It is very vast. Okay, and each and every unit operations we need to properly start up, and for that one we need a procedure for it. How, which thing we need to follow first. Okay, second, development of the functional test and the verification process. This is also the one of the process in the commissioning one. The execution of the functional testing procedure, the short-term diagnostic monitoring, operation and maintenance manuals is needed. Training and orientation of the owner, personnel, and occupants. This is very important in the commissioning one. Just like you are not giving the how to start a plant to the owner, and then he is not giving the training to the people who which he recruit. Okay, so here the people which he recruited, so that you have to give the training to that people in the commissioning part. Okay, then the warranty period. So this is the related to the documents about the warranty of the different equipment, instruments, and all. So you have to checklist, and you check it how much is the warranty as per the initial quotation what he mentioned by the vendor. Is it they give that much of a warranty, or have some changes in it? Okay, all the things that you need to check out the documents part in the commissioning one. And the last is the commissioning report, means the checklist, the whatever the main things which is given. So whether as per the things, is it okay, you have to check it whether it is okay, not okay, or whatever be the problems in it. So that is a commissioning report. Now let's see in detail what is the contents that is present in the commissioning report. Okay, and these are as an evaluation of the operating condition of the system at a time of the functional test completion. What is that? Evaluation of the operating condition of the systems at a time of the functional test completion. So this is the comes under the report. The second point is deficiencies that were discovered and measure taken to correct them. So in report, as I said, it is not only you are writing the okay. So wherever there is a problem that you face, you have to put it in that report. And that person, the contractor or the vendor, whoever be the responsible person for that particular things, they have to repair it. And again, as per our specification, it will give the functional test procedure and the results. So always we are taking the test result of it, means we are run that plan and see how what is the quality and the quantity of the product which it is produced. We check out the thing, and that for that one we have to take a test procedure, and also we note down the observations from it, and we take a result from it. Then the reports that documents all the commissioning field activities as they progress. That is one of the part that is include in this the in the report, in the commissioning report, the final report I'm talking. After that one, the report that documents all the yes, that is the over a description and estimated schedule of required deferred testing. So if you find something is a different one, then you have to see how much time is needed, because as the contractor maybe say that within 3 years your project is complete and you can start your process after 3 years. But in the commissioning one, you get some faults and some deficiency. Then again, you need to plan and scheduling that part, so that actually I have to start my plant and start my production. Otherwise, definitely it will be the more, if the more time consumption, then maybe the losses. Uh, so this is all about we are talking about the commissioning part. Okay, as we divided that, one is the commissioning one, the second part is the project closeout. So let's talk about the project closeout. What do you mean by project closeout? Why do the project end? Ask certain questions, some questions, and on that basis we will see whether that project to be close out or not. That is the one process we have. One is the why do project end? What is the why we are ending the project? The one is the what a objective has been met, means you are completed your project and your objective is fulfilled, and that time you can close that project. One thing. Second is to objective cannot be met. Another point is what, though you are setting a goal objective of it, and but unfortunately that objective is not met, and it's now very difficult to run that one or to continue that project. So that time also we can close that project. A third point is need no longer exists. So maybe that project doesn't need a more, not more longer, and for that one we are closing that one. I would like to give the one of the example, that is the different government programs. They have certain type of it. Just like sometimes their objective is fulfilled. Okay, just like if you take the example of the vaccination of these some viruses and bacteria in that one, what happened that some programs doesn't need to just to run it, that program. Why? Because already whatever the objective that is cover up. Okay, and for that one we close that project. Just like there are the different projects for the government that has run for the society, for the people from the country. Okay, just like they're having the campaign about the polio one. So it is almost closed, but yes, some cases are they find out, and because of that one, they are running that project. They are running that programs. But once you find that 2 3 years, if you don't get any cases in this country, then what they are close that program. It means no need longer exists because it is fulfilled. Okay, just like when we call talk about the vaccination in the pandemic COVID-19, in that case, we are starting that program and we don't know what is the end point of it. It will be the end when our objective is met, means all the peoples get the vaccination and there is no virus longer exists on this, in the country or on the earth. After that one, we close that part. Okay, but we don't know what is the end point of it. In some of the cases, when we talk about the objective cannot be met, in the certain cases, it's very difficult for you that it is not possible to run that one. Okay, that project, it is not possible to run it. And for that one, what we do? we are closing that one. It may be the so longer one, or it may have required a more costing. Many buildings you found out find that around surround you, that may they are just closed at the construction just because the higher costing, or may have the more the time required to completion of it, and it is not possible for it. Okay, so this is the case that is in the that's why we say that the projects get end. Now the questions to be asked before you are closing the project. So what are that question? The question is when to end. Okay, and second is how to end. This is very important. When before you are closing that the project or any program, then we have to ask when to end. What will be the time limit of that project to end? And this is very important in a planning and in the scheduling part, because every program project it having a end point. Just like a starting point, there is an end point. So let's check out and give the scheduling of it. Then how to end. Just like in movies, we have the starting of the movies, and then obviously after a 2.5 hours we need to end that story or end that movies. But again the end, what is the end of that movies, it is very important. So how he end the movies is important. So here is the one is the when to end, and one another is the how to end. A same thing is applicable with the project. So when to end and how to end, this is very important, and you have to ask it that questions, and after that one it is definitely your closing is will be a success one. Let's take what is the one point is evaluation about the project closure. How to evaluate it? Just like we have some simple questions before we are ending the project, and now we will look about the first is the economical valuation. As I said in the previous slide, that is the objective is to meet, cannot be meet, or no longer exist. And the two questions that we ask, and in that one, if you see if it is so long, means objective cannot be met. This is possible when you require the say infinite time. You don't know what exactly time needed to complete that project. There are the number of projects in the companies, in industries, they are closed out just because of the financial problem, just because of the very long one, or they don't have that much technology, and they will close that project. They will no more longer to invest in that one, just because of the economical evaluation. He checked the economical valuation, and if he found that it is not economically feasible, okay, or and for that one what they do, they are closing it. So one case is what, it is a project continuous economically reasonable. You need to ask this question, and if your answer is yes, it is economically the feasible, then it's okay, no problem, you go ahead. If you see there is very high costing is required, and now it is not more longer to give the output from that business from that project, then you will close that one. Second is evaluation of the project cost and schedule. What is that? When all the project cost and performance data are known, should project to be terminated or continue? Now we always have a checkpoint and check it at the project cost and the scheduling of it, means the time. Third point is the customer's objective. You again need to check it the objective, or the what the owner need, is it a fulfill or not with the help of that project. It means, are the customers existing objectives still under the project fulfillment? If it is yes, then you go ahead. If it is no, then close it. Okay, so here it is very important to ask the questions in between, and there is a number of questionnaires are there, and on that basis we will decide when and how to close the project. Then the fourth point, it is the client relationship and the reputation. Now, when we explain this part, it is what when premature termination of the justified, that what is its impact to the organization, reputation, and client relationship. Now, something you started, okay, you are giving a service to the people, and now you feel that now it is not possible for me just because of the higher costing of it. Just like take an example that you have the airlines and you are providing the free food to the people, but after say 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you are just finding that the people those who are the budgeting budget is get collapsed because of the we are providing the excess food or the free food to the people. So here, the look out the relationship and the reputation of the company. What the company it is. Is it necessary that I have to stop that part or to be continue? Okay. So this is one point that you need to check it: the client relationship and the reputation of it. Okay. And the last point that I would like to talk, and then I will stop the session. It is contractual and ethical consideration. So here is the project is premature termination by the contract possible? Is the project termination is ethical? Means this is somehow we can call that we have the number of workers to be working in the organization, in the institute, or we call in a company, and just because we don't have the financial condition, or just because there is no more demand of the product, and that's why you are in between, you are closing that project. So here you have to check out the ethical part of it. What happened if before even I am not giving the intimation to the worker, and in the next day or in within 1 month I close out that organization or that company? Then what happened to the people? Where they go? So here that is the ethical point that you need to check out before you are closing the project. Now this is the general word. I'm not talking about only that the establishment of the plant. Okay, that is not a only part, but there are the number of projects are there. Okay, when we call the project, the company is also one of the project, the institute is also one of the project, or a single shop is also the one of the project of it. Okay, so here we always check this list before we are closing it. Okay, in the next lecture we will look about the reasons to kill the project, why there is a failure of the project, and other parts too, but that we will see in the next lecture.